We are on. We are live. It is Dad's Dishing, a whole new episode.
We're live.
So excited for that. And you know what? We have a great guest today. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But first, let's talk about what's in the news and making the headlines for single fathers across the board.
Where are you taking us, Scottie?
I am taking you on a journey, my friend. So one of the things we want to really do with you guys is tell the stories of people from across this country and what they're facing, what they're going through as single fathers. And really, if you just simply Google news but for single fathers, you'd be amazed at stories that come up. And
Sure.
nobody's talking about single fathers.
But we are.
We are,
You're
yes.
at Dad's Dishing. We definitely are.
It's so funny because we were at an event last night, and a woman asked me, what's Dad's Dishing about? And I said, we are a show for single fathers because we are advocating for these guys because there are so many single fathers that are doing great things and nobody talks about it.
Right.
She said to me, you know what? I'm getting divorced and I think it'd be great for my husband. So yes, we are here for you.
Exactly. Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, absolutely. So have you seen some of the headlines? Our producer, Sabby, was so great. He pulled some headlines together. And one of the ones that really hit me, and it's something that I think we're going to be running into a lot over the next few months. There is a complete talk about this eviction, this huge eviction that is going to happen post-COVID. Have you heard anything about this?
Eviction? What do you mean? Like people are getting evicted from their homes?
Because a lot of people chose to push their mortgage back. In a lot of cases, my understanding, and this will lead me into the story that we're going to talk about, a lot of people, in my understanding, you were able to stop paying for a certain amount of months, but then they expected a lump sum payment.
Sure.
It's like a balloon payment for those months
yeah.
you miss. So there's talk of that. There's talk of renters who a lot of people are still unemployed in this country.
And did you look at anything like that? Did you explore any of those options?
What?
Delaying
I
payment in the
didn't
rent?
because I know myself, and if I don't pay it, I won't save the money. I'll be like, oh, there's a shoe sale.
Exactly.
I'll figure this out. I'll figure it out later.
Thank God the strip clubs were closed.
Exactly.
A bunch of strippers would have my mortgage money.
It's true. It's true. It's so
Just
true.
kidding.
But that is something that we're talking about. Well, one of the headlines was this guy who is a veteran, and he is a single father, and he's losing his home. And I want you to know that you are not alone out there. There are people going through this,
Right.
like you, if you're listening and you're going through this. But there are services in place, and that's the awesome thing. Now, you're a veteran, correct?
Yes.
Were you able to take advantage of any of the veterans loans? Like with FHA loans, there's also veterans loans. Were you able to take advantage of any of those?
I never did.
Really?
I never signed up for the VA. I did join an American Legion because they had a very cheap
They had a
price
cheap
drinks.
bar, yeah.
That was basically it.
Yeah.
Like a quarter for a beer?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
But
Yeah.
in all seriousness, there's a lot of great benefits to being a member of the VA, of the Veterans Administration.
Well, for one, when you're talking VA loans, it's 0% down a lot of
It's
times. It's federally backed, so it's
I
easier
still
to
have
get that
option,
mortgage.
So when I'm buying my mansion, because Dad's Dishing is going through the roof.
You're like, I need this $24 million home with my VA loan.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to say it too.
But it's true. And so here's why I'm saying.
I'm sure there's a cap, though.
I'm sure there's a cap. I would imagine if you're buying a $24 million home, it's not going to be federally backed.
Well, which pisses me off because a lot of the companies like Google and Facebook, they all started with government loans that they never paid back. Did you know this?
Oh, yes, I have heard
this. They
this.
still haven't paid it back. It's absolutely just a sham.
Well, you know what? In recent news, and it's becoming very popular to discuss all these mega churches with these pastors who are walking away with mega mansions and jets, limousines, and they're walking away with all of this, and they're not paying taxes on that money.
There's a guy who prays for a brand new jet, like. It's not Joel Osteen, which I do like, but
how many of us don't pay for planes? Wait, I do.
Know, right?
But that being said, I think we're going to have a shift of the way we look at things post-COVID. And for the first time, I think people are saying, okay, you know what? It's our turn to maybe get a little bit back. Where is that $1,200 check, that second check?
Right.
How are we going to incorporate that? And then also, when it comes to single fathers, are you budgeting? Are you planning ahead to make sure you're not stuck on the street with your kids out there alone?
And it's something else that Sebby sent, which I thought was great. I mean, did you happen to look at the one about the father where his daughter's friends aren't allowed to come over to his house
because he's a single dad.
Because he's a single dad, and they thought that there's more pedophile sort of like tendencies.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
No, there is. I think, and this is. I think we can say it safely. It's sort of female driven that these women are like, well, I don't want you going over to Susie's father's house because Susie's father, well, maybe he drinks and maybe he's known for going out with different women in the town, but he's not, that's not necessarily safe.
Well, this was actually in the Atlantic, okay? This is where this somebody wrote into the editor or the person that's answering these questions.
Yeah.
I think it's the wife. I think it's the wife perpetuating, this tale for the guy. The guy doesn't. No one says it.
Yes.
But I think it's like that's ridiculous.
I do believe there is that mentality that you shouldn't let. You shouldn't let a teen boy babysit your kid.
Sure.
Come on. We have to be able to trust in people to know that there is a mentality where you turn that off.
1,000%, my friend. I agree.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some of your struggles this week. Anything difficult?
Struggles?
Yeah, your struggles. Everybody's got struggles right now.
Drinking less.
That for one,
for COVID,
yes. Yeah.
I really did feel like, that I was sort of on vacation from the gym.
Oh, for sure.
Because I
you couldn't go to the gym. Yeah.
So I had to do makeshift exercises, as you know. I ordered the Peloton. I loved that. I would exercise, but then also felt a lot looser in my diet. I wasn't as regimented.
Yeah.
And now I'm back to going to the gym twice a day. I've got my trainer but the alcohol thing is still something that I think about, and I'm like, I do like it,
I love it.
So, but I know that it's a catalyst that'll just take me off course.
Well, and not only that, I want
to really limit it.
Yeah, and I want to speak to you also on the heels of literally burying your mother. I mean that. Yeah. So I think there was that emotion too. Do you feel like maybe you turned to buddies and okay, let's have a drink, and one drink turned into 10, and it can quickly escape us?
And there's always reasons to drink. There's always like
it's a Monday, it's a Tuesday, it's noon,
it's the big game.
Yes, exactly.
This
we're getting together for dinner.
Yes. So generally speaking, there's always those reasons. It's just putting my old rules, my old habits back in line with my
and structuring that schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I'm finally as soon as I leave here, I'm heading to the gym. So I already have that already focused in my head. And
when you have that mindset, I've been back on the elliptical. I'm doing the elliptical. I was never really an elliptical fan, but that's what we have at the house.
But now you can watch Dad's Dishing on YouTube.
I can watch Dad's Dishing on YouTube. I can follow up what's going on.
Right.
I am somebody who loves to watch that. I'll listen to music. I'll go through my feed on social media, see what's going on. But I am in that zone of, okay, I am getting on this.
Right.
When you do better, you feel better. You do. I do believe that.
We had dinner the other night. I was really proud of you. You ordered like a salad.
Yeah.
I ordered everything. I was like, well, today I'll eat.
He's like, I'll have 17 appetizers and some soup.
That's just fun.
That is just fun. If you're asking at home what we're talking about, we are so talking about, Joe's get home habit. Mine, when I was back in the day when I was clubbing, on the way home, I totally stopped at McDonald's, and it was like a 20-piece.
For all the DWIs,
I'd eat it and go to bed. It was like heaven. You know what I mean?
Right.
I never felt more full. It was even better than bringing some stranger home. Like that 20-piece made me feel loved.
And I like to have soup.
Exactly.
You like
to have soup, which is disgusting.
It just all over you.
There is nothing grosser than watching a drunk person eat soup.
Well, I'm still coordinated.
No, wait, an old person who's drunk eating soup. That could be worse. Yes.
Eventually, I'll be like David Hasselhoff, just like on the floor. Instead of eating that Whopper, I'll have some... Campbell's is freaking good.
This is no good, this soup. And the best part is, you guys, here is the best part. He likes chowder. I mean, that is a cream-based soup is even you might as well be eating split pea soup.
What?
It's disgusting.
A good hearty chowder.
A good,
it's awesome for you.
No, I
Great
enjoy
for
it.
hangovers, easy on the stomach.
Yes, see, this is true. Well, unless you have dairy issues, then it's not so easy on the stomach.
Well, I'm thankfully okay. Oh my God!
All right, so today on the show we are talking to Kevin Pierce. He's so awesome. He's been a guest on the show before, and actually, the sad story is he was coming on before to talk about his ex-wife, who he was still very close to and was raising a child with. And she, right after he was on the show, she passed away. And they did know that was coming.
Right.
But it happened almost immediately. So we talked to them.
Yes. Just any form of cancer, obviously, is just awful.
Terrible.
And, it was about a year ago. And our producer, Kelly, mentioned that it happened on the day that show aired.
Yes.
So
we did want to follow up, see what that's like. And that's what we're going to do today.
And then we went to the Camp Kesem
yes, you guys did.
And it was so great. I'm telling you, he gave the best speech. No one was not crying. Everybody was really emotional.
I know I couldn't make it. I was in Hawaii, but getting engaged. But I came back, and you guys both said to me, yes, I did. Well, as soon as I got off the plane.
Yes. This is a wholesome family show, aside from Scottie's drunken charades.
Yes. But I will say that I came back, and you both talked about his speech and how important that was.
His speech was super moving. Everyone cried. We thank our friend Marie Paul, who's having a birthday this week, for introducing us to Camp Kesem and to Kevin and Meg Pierce.
Yeah, we're big fans of Camp Kesem.
Camp Kesem, it's a great organization. It is a camp for kids affected by cancer. Yep. Not necessarily that they have cancer, but someone around them does.
Yeah. And sometimes that's even worse.
Guidelines through Camp Kesem, which takes place in many colleges across the U.S.
Yes.
The foundation of that is you only get in if you have a parent that suffered from cancer. Awesome. There's no cost to the family, and the memories are, irreplaceable, priceless. These kids can bond with other kids that have gone through the same thing on the same
and feel like you're not alone, which is so awesome.
And all those kids were so spirited. We saw them, and they're they have their chants, they have their little
their
group
their nicknames. Nobody has a real name. Right. It's all nicknames. Right. I think you were Creepy Sanchez.
No.
He had a great name.
Oh, wait, no?
No, that was you.
That was me.
Because you didn't make it.
Yes, I didn't make
apparently he's not here with the kids.
Are we allowed to say what your Camp Kesem
I forgot what it was.
I don't think you're allowed to say what it was.
No, I'm not gonna say that.
You can't say what it was. I think that's a rule of Camp Kesem. Yes.
Is that what it was?
That's a rule.
Okay,
yes.
But they actually, I remember a couple of those kids were like, oh my God, you guys are the dad's dishing people. We love you.
Damn, I wish I was there.
And then it was like, where's Scottie?
That's so sweet. Oh, I love that. Well, thank you for saying that. It makes me feel better. They had no clue who I was. They were like, where's the fat gay guy? All right, we'll be right back. Kevin Pierce will be joining us. This is Dad's Dishing. Stay tuned.
And Scottie, it brings me a lot of pleasure to introduce our guest today, Mr. Kevin Pierce. He's a friend of the show, as you know, if you're a fan of Dad's Dishing, which I know people are out there. He was on last year.
Absolutely. Such a great thing. Thank you for joining us today, making time out of the hectic week.
Yes. Finally in the flesh. Last year, you're on the golf course.
Yeah.
And we're kind enough to call in.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. I was on the 15th hole, Eagle Creek in Orlando, and I knew that I had it scheduled. I walked back to the house from there and took the call. It was fun.
Very cool.
That was the perfect thing. So when you came in, I'm like, I know this guy. I'm like, hey, good to see you. You're like, yes. I know you. I can feel it. Yeah. Well, one of the things I know that this past spring, Camp Kesem event, which is you've become a big supporter of that.
Oh, yeah.
Joe and Kelly came after that event, and they said, he did such a good job speaking and telling his story. Tell us a little bit about what that was like.
And let me say that there wasn't a dry eye in the house. All of us were really deeply moved.
That's always success.
Right.
Including mine, for sure. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It was an honor. It was nice to speak with everybody. It felt maybe a little soon to tell Caleb's story, particularly because last year when the event happened, it happened on the day of my ex-wife's funeral. Mm. And there was a lot of emotion there, right? Remembering that day and everything that we were going through at the time.
Absolutely. And a year out is not
a long time.
A long time at all. No, yeah. And if you don't know the story, we actually had you on a little over a year ago. And just a few days after you came on, your ex-wife, who had been battling brain cancer, she had that, and she passed just a few days, literally like the next day or 2 days after you were on the show. So what was that like for you and Caleb? And now you had a new wife at this point, but still very much so tied into your ex-wife and that story. What was that like for you guys? And did you have to sort of break away from the family and say, it's our time?
I don't know if there was any our time. My relationship with Carrie's parents is probably better than it's ever been right now. They see my son all the time. They teach him school Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how great for that. They must be loving that.
Yeah, it's a good balance. I think that everyone's pretty happy. We ask, can we see Caleb, this weekend? We've got something planned, and it's easy. We just do it,
That's
and of
fantastic.
course that they're still part of his life because that's that's family.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even though mom may not be still with us here in the physical form, right? But her memory lives on for them through your son.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when you look at Caleb and you look at pictures of Carrie, it's the same person. It's so weird to see him sitting at a table and see her face in his face. It's just crazy, So she's here for sure.
That's so great.
So what did your wife say as his stepmom? What was her role in that transition period there through his mom's passing?
We have always agreed that Caleb's relationship with Meg is unique in that Meg is Meg and mom is mom.
I love that. Yeah.
There's no replacement. There's no overstepping.
Yeah.
She's here to support him, and she's here to do whatever she can and help him fit in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we're a year and a half out. Has the year and a half been a struggle for Caleb? How's he doing? Was there a talk of going to therapy? And that's a personal question, but something that I think people need to be open to for young kids. And I think it's very important when you go through something like that you take all of the tools that are out there and use them.
Yeah. He had gone to therapy for quite a while after.
Which is so good.
Oh, yeah. We saw minor progressions in how he was dealing with things. He's not a really outwardly emotional kid as it is, so it can be tough to get him on task and talk about his feelings, but he did come a long way. I think that since then, obviously when March came around, things changed wildly. It was tougher to find a therapist. And
For sure. Everything shifted. Yes.
Yes, it did.
So you go through this traumatic thing, and then here comes COVID, and that's another life-changing thing. So his routine, his schedule, all of that has shifted really in a big way.
Did you notice something different about him? Like maybe some fear, some uncertainty, like that may have manifested originally through your wife's death or your ex-wife's death?
I don't know if he's afraid of anything. We were all going through COVID at the same time in a way that was kind of unifying, right? Because he had his own traumas, we had our own situations, and then suddenly we're all on the same team working together to try to survive in a house. And
and make it through. And make it through work drama, school drama, life drama, making sure you're healthy, the whole family's healthy, and then mixing households where he is going to see his grandparents on that side. And it's crazy. I mean, really. Yeah. Did you find that during that time you really had to say, okay, here's our schedule, here's our structure to somehow implement some structure in your kid's life? Because you also have another son.
Yes, we do.
Yes, yeah. So how has that worked out for you guys?
From what I can tell, we're doing everything that everyone else is doing.
Okay,
and a lot of it's
perfect,
just throwing it against the wall and seeing if it sticks, and that includes schedules, that includes school schedules, breakfasts, what we're doing for recreational activities.
Yes.
I took Caleb to the store yesterday for the first time, I think, in 9 months, and he spent his money pretty foolishly, but...
Hey, you know what? He deserves to. We all deserve to right now.
We were all wearing fake mustaches through the house last night just because he had $4.
And that's fun.
What else does a kid need?
Yes, exactly.
And how have you held up? I mean, obviously, are you a little different from last year? Well, just kind of like going through that entire grieving process. What was that like?
I think one of the things that happens when you lose a co-parent is you are suddenly
the parent.
There's a lot of responsibility that falls on you, and it's not unlike the feeling that you have right after you get married. You really want to get married, and then you're walking down the aisle away and you're like, holy cow, I just did this. You know,
I can't sleep with other people anymore.
Why? Scottie keeps it real here for us.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. You do have these moments where you're like, okay. And I think did it bring that reality of mortality to your life? And it's like, okay, I need to prepare things, because I imagine when you get a diagnosis, you say to your spouse or even your ex-spouse, like, here's the deal. This is what's going on. There's a chance I might not make it through. We need to make decisions.
Yeah.
Did you find yourself then in that position again where you're making decisions and talking to attorneys to say, this is where I want my son to go, that sort of thing? I mean, I would imagine you run into that.
We didn't do the attorney thing because I've been divorced.
Yes.
So the attorney thing on the father's side doesn't really work out for you. I kind of have an attorney phobia.
I don't blame you, and I think a lot
people
of men do. It's not,
Right.
it's still a biased system. It definitely is. Yes.
Yeah. But I found that in this case, it was really easy to just go to Carrie's parents and say, look, like, I'm never going to try to take anything away from you.
Yeah.
And if we can be in an agreement where, you know, I'm just the dad.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm not going to stand in your way. And if you support me, this is going to work well. And it has.
That's huge.
And their
having
response to
those
you was like,
conversations.
was it a loving one?
Yeah, it was no hesitation. Just, we're not going to try to jeopardize any rights or liberties that you have in your life.
Yeah.
We know where we stand in this, and we know where we want to stand. They don't want to be in their 70s raising a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Do you ever all get together for lunches or dinners together? Maybe.
I think we would have if not
COVID
for
hadn't
COVID.
happened.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That sort of shifts it
Yeah,
up again.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I go to their house to pick up Caleb on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They come to pick him up in the morning. We spend some time together. We hang out, and
Nice.
yeah, it's
And maybe
really
further
easy.
down the road, it's something you could eventually aspire to, like even holidays and stuff like that. I mean,
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah, we talk about it a lot.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That
That's
makes me really
awesome.
happy. I love that.
And your other son, Daniel, correct?
Yes.
Does Daniel get to go sometimes with Caleb to Caleb's grandparents? Does that happen? I know we ask these questions, but it's been a short period of time, and that's been
Right.
changed by COVID. But is that something that they've been able to build that relationship as well?
They're great with Daniel.
Oh, that's
he doesn't
awesome.
go there. I think Daniel is. Yeah, Daniel is like 400 pounds of TNT in a 40-pound body.
Kelly laughs because her favorite thing ever. Kelly, please tell the story.
I love that Kevin tried to sell Dan. He just wanted to know his worth and what someone would be willing to pay after a
Yes.
day of antics with Daniel.
And of course,
you
he's
know,
just kidding.
tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
of course.
Well, then
so
we got in the
hilarious
elevator today,
that
and you were
I
talking
just
about
always
shipping.
retell it.
Yes, shipping human beings is expensive.
Yeah, so that's
And
question
it's
for Wayfair.
dangerous, yes. So one of the things that you have successfully now navigated through, and I am saying successful because I am optimistic, is birthdays, first Christmases, first holidays across the board. How has that been? Have you done anything differently for our listeners out there to really make sure mom is still present in that way, even when she can't physically be there? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about her all the time. Her pictures are all over our house.
Yeah.
We rotate the pictures so that he can see different perspectives of her.
Oh, I
and
love
different
that.
memories at different times. We haven't really changed anything as far as scheduling goes
Mm-hmm.
with Christmas and stuff. Caleb will go to his grandparents for a weekend
Yeah.
or a week. They're talking about going on vacations next year.
Nice.
It's
And I'm sure that relationship for them is so much a piece of the closure process. It's if we can have this relationship, it helps them have a purpose, which is so important.
Well, their
It
daughter
really is.
lives through the boy.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's the deal.
I
You
can
know,
look
so,
in your
yeah,
eyes and see her. Yes, yeah.
exactly. So, life has a funny way of moving around, and people sometimes not being with us, but yet their spirit lives on. I do believe that.
Yes.
I think it's all a testament to the value in having the hard conversation. I mean, when
Yeah.
you're stressed about something that you need to take care of, just do it.
Huge.
And
Yeah.
be a person. And
And talk and communicate.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the key. Because you know what? People will say, oh, I don't want to say this because I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. But if you have this
say it.
conversation, you move forward.
Right.
You
Yeah.
do. So as we move forward, you have this, your new wife, well, say new wife, but your wife who's a fabulous lady. How don't you think that's such an important piece of relationship like this, that she's open and the pictures are there and she's so comforting and caring. How has that been such a great thing for you?
I don't think that any of this would be possible without her willingness to include Carrie in our lives.
Yeah.
And we knew that from the beginning. When we started the relationship, if there was any kind of real tension between Caleb and Meg, this never would have happened.
Yeah.
Period.
Wow.
So,
and that's always a real, like, it shows how wonderful of a woman she is that you partnered up with, because, you know, you move on from one woman to the next.
Yeah.
There's always just that animosity about the ex or whomever.
Exactly.
And I just want to interject one thing here, you guys.
Yeah.
His wife, Meg, is so great. Like, she was pretty young when she took on this type of responsibility in, you know, a situation that could have been difficult. So, you know, that says a lot about her, too.
And it says that Kevin's a cradle robber.
No.
I know. You're like, she was so young.
I was when we started dating, I was in my 30s and she was in her young 20s.
Yeah.
So
kudos to you.
Kudos, exactly. During this whole year and a half, what have you done to make your wife feel special and know she's important? Because it's easy to get lost in a funeral and making sure your son's okay. And then COVID came and making sure everybody's okay and making sure your work's still in place. Like, what have you done to make your wife know she is special, she is important, and you're so thankful for that?
Well, I think that I would probably give you a different answer than she would give you.
Okay.
I try to just listen to her.
Yeah.
You know, she's in a really weird position right now because she's a business owner.
Yes.
And she is trying to work around my work schedule, which is just, I showed Kelly my calendar this morning, and I'm thinking sometimes about filling up my calendar in 2 weeks, but then I wake up on a Wednesday morning with nothing going on, and then suddenly 10 appointments just that day.
Crazy, yes. Whenever there's a free moment, it's not free.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's still navigating her business around your schedule.
And she's a kindergarten teacher.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, by default, no.
Oh, yes. I was like, how is she doing all of this?
Know,
okay,
yeah.
yes. Which, here's the thing. We were talking about this with Steve Samuels last week. His son was going to kindergarten. So not only are you a kindergarten teacher, these kids have no idea what school looks like.
Right.
It's not like it's first or second grade
And
where
neither
you've
does
been to
the
school for a year.
parent. Like, all they do is
Exactly.
if
We
I
haven't
had to
done
teach
this in
kindergarten
30
or whatever.
years.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's crazy. So she's a first grade teacher. She's helping you navigate through the morning process, your son morning process, and then running business. I mean, it's a lot.
It's a whirlwind.
Yeah,
all day.
It is. I'm stressed thinking about it. You know, really, to worry about me.
Well, this might be a good call to. We are looking for a dog sitter.
Oh,
we need
yes.
to get out of here.
Oh, I've got a
sometime,
great
so
dog sitter.
Thank you very much.
I do. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Give me that
She
number.
takes care of our 6 dogs. She's amazing. So
my
I'll connect
gosh.
you. Yeah, she's fabulous.
Does she have time or?
Well, I know when we're not
Yeah, no,
we're
right.
not using her. Yeah.
I just like to say, Meg, that was me trying to help you with this.
Seriously. Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Just Kevin, thank you for the follow-up. You
course.
know, we love you, and we're very proud of everything that you've managed to accomplish. And none of this is easy, and our
thank
hearts are definitely with you. And you know, feel free to come back, and thank you for sharing your story here again with us. So we're very, very humbled by your presence.
Of course. It was great being here. Thank you, guys. The space is great.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited. This is
Cafe
it.
Kubal Studios.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
it's the Dad's
awesome.
Fishing Studio.
Thanks for joining us. We will be right back.
Hey, Scottie,
Yes.
are you excited?
I am beyond excited of where we're going and where Dad's Dishing is going.
Right. What we decided to do is actually something really special. It's actually been our vision to do this where we're
From
gonna-
day one.
I know.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
putting our money where our mouth is. And basically what that means is we want to help single fathers in ways that they may need that help. Like,
Yeah.
something as simple as like, you know what? We've got a gift card for, Wegmans or something to that effect.
Or as simple as paying a National Grid bill to get caught
Right.
up. Because sometimes it's just the smallest thing that can get you set back and take you off your path of success.
Sure.
And we want to start helping people and really doing that. And that was the whole brainchild behind the Single Father Fund. And talk to us about that.
Yeah, the Single Father Fund's a nonprofit organization that was started up by your dad's dishing family here. And basically what we do is we help single dads with different ways that they may, again, have a struggle or a need. Maybe it's an appliance that broke down and they don't have the money to get it fixed, or maybe they're late on their rent or something to that effect. So we're going to start, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
We want you to reach out to us. It doesn't have to be first person. It could be someone that you know is a good single dad, but at the same time
Needs a little help, maybe.
Yeah, needs a little help. We've all needed help.
There is no shame in that. The other day you shared a story with us.
When my car got repossessed, it sucks. I was behind on payments, and the bank had been calling, and I just couldn't afford to pay it. And just guess what happened? There goes my car. It just got taken away.
You're not alone in this, and it's very easy. I think most Americans live paycheck to paycheck in this country, and it's very easy if you miss one or you have something else that comes up. And when you have children, something else that comes up all the time.
Right.
It happens, and we know it happens, and we know how easy it is. Guess what? You missed 2 car payments. They're coming they're at the door. They're ready to repossess that car.
And I was thinking more about getting food for the kids and getting food for
the important things,
exactly.
or their medical bills.
Yeah.
If a kid has to go to the emergency room because they fell in school and broke an arm, that will set you back. It really can, especially now during this crazy time. And this is a way for us to be helpful. It makes a immediate active response to something and an immediate fix to something, which we love.
So reach out to us on social media, DM us directly at Dad's Dishing, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Jesus, we're on everything.
We are on everything.
And on YouTube.
And the great part about this is what we're going to be able to do in addition to having fun, which is always the key here, is tell amazing stories. And Joe, what you just shared with us is an amazing story because you've been there. And no, it is. Yeah. You've been there because nobody would look at you and think that you've ever had any issues. You're a very attractive man. You're successful in business. You drive a beautiful car. You have a beautiful home. You live a very nice life. Nobody would think that you've gone through that path. And we've all been there. We've all had a difficult time. Right. And that is, by sharing those stories, we can feel better about ourselves and focus on what we need to do better.
Thank you.
Which I love. Yeah, thank you. And it really is so important.
It's just, if any humility that I may have is just because I've been knocked around so much in my life that you finally get a break, and then it's my instinct to want to help others.
Yes.
And to be of inspiration, say you're not alone, and that you always help me live up to that too. So it's on you as well, bud.
Well, thank you. Of course, it's all about me. But that being said too, we talk to a lot of people who are recently divorced. And when you've gone through a divorce, you know what that's like.
Got no money.
Oh,
you gotta split up everything.
And now you go from a lifestyle of a dual income, theoretically, if it's a dual income, a 4-bedroom house, 2 cars, grocery bills every week at $300-400. Now you're splitting that twice, and it's not. You can't come back from that. You have to change your lifestyle. So we will continue to talk to the professionals. We will continue to answer the questions. But one of the things we're actually going to be incorporating too is question and answer period at the end of every show. So what are your questions? Ask those questions. Put them on YouTube in the comment section. Instagram, on Facebook. Check those. Let us know. And we're going to follow up each week with those questions and hopefully some answers from the experts and some guidance to help you get through life.
So we're putting it on you. If you know someone who needs a little help, let us know what it is, and the Dad's Dishing team will be there as best as we can.
Absolutely.
We're rehabbing and rescuing.
It's so true, Kelly. That is so true. And that has always been the goal. And when Joe first came to me and he said, here's this show about dads, and I'm like, what's this show about dads? And then he told me about it, and it hit me. And it's so true. We want these guys to be as successful as they possibly can be because there's a lot of great single fathers out there.
Make sure you reach out.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, right? Dad's Dishing.
Are we wrapping it up?
Should we wrap it up? Or
Our producers, everybody's in accordance with a great show. Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you.
Thank you, producer Kelly.
Thank you, Kevin Pierce and family, for sharing your story as well. This was a great episode.
Our team here, we love them all. Thank you.